Hey, what's up? Jason Gaddis here. I've got a 3-part series. This is part 1, the 3 myths about women that men have, all right, in the context of relationship. So I hopefully go back and watch the video I did on the 3 myths about men. I think that was useful. Now let's talk about the 3 myths about women in the context of relationship, right? And I'm just going to go one at a time. So today we're just going to talk about the first myth. Myth number 1 about women is, guess what? You are too emotional. You're too emotional. Oh my God, she's so dramatic. Okay, you get labeled drama, bitch, emotional, etc. You get labeled so many things when a man is upset. But today we're just going to talk about this first one. You're too emotional. So let's unpack this. First of all, I just want you to hear, you're not too emotional. That's bullshit, okay? You're as emotional as you need to be given whatever the hell's going on in your life with your partner, and also given the history, relational history you have, all right? So if we understood you, if a man could really take the time to understand you, he would understand why you're being as emotional as you are, which ain't too much, all right? Often men label women as too emotional because he's afraid of your emotions. It's too much for him to feel whatever he's feeling as you cry, sob, get angry, scream, whatever it is. He's uncomfortable, all right? So as a man, I just get kind of uncomfortable. And then I'm gonna label you as too much so that I can feel better over here. This is really important to understand. This is not personal, okay? This is actually more about him than it is about you. The translation to you're too emotional is, I don't know how to handle you and your emotions because I'm not in touch with my own emotions. And I've suppressed and repressed them my whole life. So here you are emotional. I'm like, I'm kind of blown out. I don't know what the fuck to do over here. Okay, so you can start to understand it's like pretty okay, pretty normal. So what the man needs to do here, if you're listening and you're a man, you've got to develop emotional capacity to be able to handle your own fucking feelings. Then you can handle her feelings. All right, it's that simple. Now, at times, if you're a woman and you are very emotional, sometimes some women can embellish their emotions to get a man to come forward, to get him to pay attention, because sometimes she'll say, I've had a lot of women say, well, fuck, the only time you come and pay attention to me is when I'm crying. And so I cry so you fucking come over here and pay attention. Right? Now, is that wrong or bad? No, it's just makes sense. Like, you want connection. So you'll do what you need to do to get that connection. But your pure emotions without any filler or trying to get connection or anything, just your pure raw emotions, I just want you to say, or hear, please keep that coming for us men. Just be yourself, all right? Now, it's good as a grown-up to learn to handle and titrate your emotions, to self-regulate your emotions. That's a really good skill to know. And I recommend learning that. Because otherwise, if you're an overly emotional woman, you'll continue to drive people away. And my guess is you don't want to be alone or drive people away. So you might have to lift some weights here on how do I regulate the emotional intensity that I feel. And often, I find that women who have a hard time regulating their emotions grew up in families where there was no teaching or download about that. It was just, shit went down, the bad thing happened, you got emotional, hysterical, whatever it was, and no one was there to pick you up and teach you how to be with your upset. No one taught you. So what do you expect? You're a grown woman and you still don't know how to deal with your emotions. All right, so yes, that's possible, and if that's you, please work on that. Please develop the capacity to, it's kind of like just social graces. Like, you don't just sob hysterically at a bus station or on an airplane or at a dinner party unless that's part of the context, right? You learn how to contain it, okay? The challenge with an intimate relationship is it's hard to contain, and that shit wants to come out. And that's where it should come out, in a safe place, which is your intimate partnership. You feel safe enough to express your true, fullest self anger, sadness, grief, rage, fear, whatever it is, just express it. And ideally, you're with a guy who learns how to hold your emotional experience because he can hold his own. So guys, if you're listening, you got to develop this capacity. It's essential. It's why I broke up with every good woman I dated, is because they started to get emotional. And I was like, get the fuck away from me. But what I was saying was, to myself, was get the fuck away from me, emotions. I don't want to deal with my emotions. And here you are manifesting this behavior that I've suppressed and repressed my whole life. So of course I'm going to push you away, right? So women, you got to understand this about men. If a man is making you wrong about your emotions, it's because he was made wrong for his emotions and he decided to bury them. That doesn't mean you have to, right? You want to be with a man who can handle your emotions, all right? Okay, stay tuned for video 2 here in this series, Myths About Women in the Context of Relationship, all right? So myth 1 is you're too emotional, and we are busting that right now. We're chopping that in half, blowing that up, saying that's bullshit. All right, you have some things you could work on. A man that you're with has some things he could work on, and you can just keep being emotional, all right? In fact, emotions are what create intimacy and emotional. It's like a lubricant for connection, okay? They can be really useful, right? And their feedback, please don't shut them down. Okay, stay tuned for video 2. And also, if you want more tips like this, you can go to relationshipschool.com/get-his-heart-back to find out more about this kind of dance between men and women. Thanks.